Hello, Abnormal Investigations family. We got another encounter. We had a really good live tonight, Saturday night. Really enjoyed having Brittany on the show for the part two. We may be having a part three with her and her sister if we can get everything worked out, if you all would like to see that. I really enjoy having her. She had a lot of good information that really made me think. And of course, I've got another encounter for you for this Sunday, which I'll be releasing earlier, 10 in the morning. And I think you all like the earlier releases on Sunday. It seems to do better. So we'll try that for a while and see how it works out. And let's get into today's encounter. My story is a lot like many, but different in my eyes. My first sighting as a child was when I was 16 years old. My mother, who had talked about her ancestors, who were off Sioux blood, she used to tell me stories. When I was a kid, there were stories I didn't know they were real. My mom and dad took me and my half-brother out to the graveyard. This graveyard was different. It was in the center was a statue of an Indian chief. It was very large and old. My mom sat and took pictures while me and my brother climbed on it, till my father turned pale white and grabbed my mother's arm and pointed toward the woods. My brother and I followed the directions he pointed. Now it's not common to see wolves where I grew up, especially a pack of them, so close to human contact. I remember counting 9 wolves. Each one gave me a sense of what I was doing that offended them. I remembered my father picking me up and my brother and carrying us to the car, and as we drove away I stared at the wolves, who stared back until we were out of sight. I was about 12, and I had always had a drawing to the woods about a half a mile from our house. I always felt like I needed to go in there. I grew up in a small town. I used to read stories of the old myths and legends of the demons, shapeshifters, and skinwalkers that come from my family. I went on a hike through the woods, just doing what kids do and enjoying themselves. I didn't think anything of it until I found a small clearing in the swamp. And there's a lot of rumors that an old hermit had lived in these woods, but you hear things all the time. People saw him here and there, but I was told no one ever really got close to him. Well, I walked this marshy area until I got a weird feeling. I got a feeling that I was being watched. Paranormal activity wasn't known to me, and I had not experienced a lot of it growing up. I stopped to look at the sun, and it was maybe noon. Clouds were light, and it was hot out, so the cold chill I got alarmed me. I turned to see a figure looming in the dark portion of the woods. My body, it felt like stone. I remember sheer panic rising up, but my body refused to comply with the natural instinct to run for dear life. His eyes were the creepiest part. They reminded me of Topaz. They were very demonic. Then a sense of feeling came back to me. I turned and I ran, and I could hear something behind me, stalking me. He wasn't hunting me as far as I felt, but watching me run. In a horrified terror, I never returned to the woods ever again. I was so scared I slept with the lights on for days. My dad and I used to cruise around and talk away all my fears, but this time it had really bothered me. He told me he was 17. Him and his friends went out to the nature park in their hometown and decided to drink beer and have fun. My dad told them that he couldn't drink too much because he had to drive home that night, and he told me the moon was high and so bright it lit the woods up and the gravel road he was on. He told me I was just cruising like we are now. I didn't want to be home right away. I looked at this animal. He said it wasn't large. He said it was large, hunched over, eating a roadkill animal. He said when he stopped the car, the creature's head snapped to meet his eyes. He said the beast stood up to maybe 7 feet tall. He said it looked identical to a werewolf, he told me. I remember being so scared, I ripped into reverse, trying my best not to panic. I floored it. The creature then proceeded to run after me, keeping a good pace. He passed the road and threw it into gear, and I began to try his best to get away. He told me I must have been doing 60 miles an hour when I looked out the passenger window to see the beast running on all fours, right next to my car. I thought to myself, I'm going to die by that time I made it to the road. He told me that it was gone, but I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't. It was following me home in the dark because I saw it, and I knew what it was. And it was way too fast to outrun on foot if it was keeping up with me in the car. I was about 18 when I came in contact with something from what he told me about. As a kid, I was walking with a friend through the woods. We were hunting squirrel at a place where many said there was a werewolf beast who had claimed that land, and we thought it was just another legend to keep people out of there. We was hunting, and I had already collected 5 squirrels. I found a blood trail. It was really gruesome, so we decided to follow it. As we came up on the end of the trail, horror struck my face as I looked up into the large oak tree of the torso of a large deer hanging in it. There weren't any animals around that could do that. I remember looking at my friend, who at that point was panicking, loading his .22, pale white. I began to load mine as well. The only other weapon we had was just a hatchet and our skinning and survival knives, which would have done us no good against this creature. We were miles from any town and hadn't seen anyone in the large wooded area all day. We decided to run the opposite way of the bloody trail, and when we heard sticks snapping behind us, we came to the small cave, only to find what we did not want to see. But the other half of the deer, which was a large buck. Terror struck as the sound stopped my heart. There was something behind us, and I could hear it. I told my friend not to panic. We turned, we pointed our guns in the direction we heard the sound, and we started firing. It ran away. It ran away really fast. We wasn't trying to kill whatever it was. We were just scared for our lives, trying to get it to run off so that we could escape. The gunshot scared it away, and we made it out of the woods that day, and we never returned back. We have never been back to those woods. Mike, there's something evil in these woods that lurks us. It looks for us. It stalks us, and sometimes it doesn't always hunt us. It just follows us. Why? Well, I think sometimes they practice by following us. I think that they practice by stalking us. Again, I don't encourage anybody to shoot at sound. Always know your target, what's beyond your target. Never just shoot at sound because you don't know what it is. It could have been somebody walking up there. Thank God it wasn't. Always know your target. I can't stress that enough. Too many accidents happen like that. But yeah, it sounds to me like that what y'all ran up on probably was something that a lot of your elders have seen. Kind of like a lot of the towns around here, you get a lot of like troll bridges, you get crybaby creeks, you get, all these different names. And there's reasons that these people named these places that a long time ago. It's because there was things that happened. And I think that all these things that are passed down, that there is some truth to every one of the stories. And I think that we should keep their legends in mind, that something happened that caused that to have that name. Not everything you were told may be true, but even if a portion of it's true, I think it's enough that we should stay aware. I think you were probably pretty lucky to get out that day. I'm glad that you all made it out, and thank you for sending me your encounter. Guys, I hope everybody has a great Sunday today. Spend it with your family. Make memories. That's the most important thing. Those are the things that are the most important, and there is no value on those, guys. So that's what I do on Sundays. That's why these are shorter videos. I'm going to spend time today with my family making memories. Spend time with your family making memories. I look forward to the day that our family is complete and back together, and just one person away from doing that. And once we do that, just cherish it, guys. That's all I can tell you. And until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. And we're going to kick off next week, guys, with some really good ones. We'll see you then.